When it's something so big, so nationally renowned, everybody, the whole country rioted. So these jurors had knowledge, without a doubt. They had their own ideas, conceptions of what happened. How do you pick a jury when everybody knows?
So when we have murder cases down here, especially the bigger ones, I've had several that were in the news. It's kind of like well known that here's a great example of the Billings case. Like everybody knew about the Billings case when those cases went to trial. Were you going to get a fair jury here in Escambia County? It's very difficult. How I normally approach that issue is not for nothing, but I think a lot of the local jurors or local people, they understand that the news is at best 50% accurate. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you start talking to them about. Like, do you guys just believe every word that's written in the News Journal as the Holy Bible truth? They're gonna be like, no, absolutely not.
I just saw a study yesterday that said over 2020 suicide rates had dropped, which in my personal case, I lost more friends to suicide than I did the actual disease. So
yeah, I find that very hard to believe.
Very, very hard to believe.
Because I think I've seen articles that say the exact opposite. I think I most certainly have seen things on the internet that say the exact opposite. I have cases, like I said, that I've had for a year plus, and I investigate up and down. And then I'll read the News Journal article about it, and I was like, what in God's name are they talking about? Like, that's not even close to what happened. And I'm actually pretty good friends with some of the guys down there because the cases that I'm involved with, they're involved with. So they'll call me sometimes for comment on the case or whatever, and I'll try to do my best to steer them right. But, man, it is insane how bad they are about writing up some of those cases. Just absolutely insane.
Pensacola is pretty noted for their grammar on the titles and the headlines, too.
Yeah, it's like they want to brush it out so quick. So when I'm picking a jury, when I know that they have already known about the case, that's really how I try to go. Like, even though you may have read it, let's just all be honest, that it doesn't matter what you read nowadays or see on the news. Jury selection is by far the hardest thing that we do. I say it's more like stand-up comedy than anything else. Like, to me, it's very, very close to stand-up comedy because what I'm supposed to do is, in somewhat of an entertaining fashion, get to know roughly 60 people so well to make a decision to have them be a part of my case that affects someone's life. Like, absolutely affects someone's life, And nowadays, so back in the day, we could have a jury selection that would go on for 3 or 4 hours. Now, if the jury is there for more than 40 minutes, they're out. The fast pace, the cell phones, people don't have the attention span anymore. So if you're over like 40 or 50 minutes, good luck. Then that's when they start, looking away, looking down. They're not really into it. So you have to get as quickly as you can the stuff that you need to get out, get to know them. And what you really want to do is you want, no offense, but you want them to like you. If they don't like you, you're done. Game over. You're smoked. So, it's like it's like I say, it's a lot like stand-up comedy where you're just kind of up there freewheeling and dealing. And who knows what they could say. Man, I've had people say, I don't like your socks. I don't like your hair. Your client looks guilty to me. I mean, I've had them say all kinds of wild stuff. And you got to be able to flow with that. Take it and, figure out where to go.
That's fascinating to me, to be honest. Obviously, I am a comedian, and I do see the one or two that are laughing, or the one or two that are cringing, or the one or two that just walked out. Although in your case, they can't walk out.
Yeah. Capture an audience is what we deal with.
Those might be the two you want,
Yeah, maybe. It's so funny because a lot of it's like gut reactions, instinct decisions. And have my instincts been wrong? Absolutely. So you can have someone who's just smiling, nodding their head, going with you, and once they get on the jury, it's hammer time. You can have that. So, yeah, it's scary. It is. There's nothing that unnerves me more than jury selection.